Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Skald against the Black Priory. As today, things get even more foul. But, before we start delving too deep, we also have a level up in the queue, so let's go ahead and run through that real quick. We have 3 points in the pool, and I will say I was very tempted to go for Inspiring Kill, which would be the first of Farron's real leadership abilities. That one grants a modest accuracy bump whenever he lands a kill. But, I thought about it, and I feel like our roster isn't really deep enough just yet to properly leverage that. So instead, we'll just keep focusing on the basics for now. We'll grab an extra rank of axe accuracy. Can't get kills if you can't land hits. And then that leaves us with 1 point, which we'll toss into Tough as Nails. That'll net us 1 extra point of toughness, which is the sub-attribute that we use to resist various status conditions, such as our save versus vomit when we first came in here. And with those new bonuses banked, we can now afford some tunnel vision. We have no map function, so, we'll try to be methodical in how we approach these maze-like passages. And right off the bat, we can kind of see there's a chamber just behind this wall, so let's head south and try to hook west. Oh. Large misshapen crabs emerge from the water all around you. Intentionally or not, the seemingly mindless beasts have lain in ambush for you. Death or glory? Oof. Okay, so let's see here. We have 3. We are surrounded. Minimal positioning options. Cat's up first, but pretty much no matter where we put her, she's under threat from at least 1 foe. Let's tuck her off to the side here. That way she'll only have to deal with the one on the right. And then we'll position Farron here. That way he can hold off the other 2 while Cat just goes toe-to-toe with the one. And I hate to say it, but this might be a good time to burn off that potion of stone skin. Since otherwise she could easily end up getting crippled here, which would put a pretty big damper on our further exploration. The hoarder in me hates doing that, but it's got to be done. Solid hit. Meanwhile, Farron holds off the other 2 with relative ease. Oh, nice. Wow, maybe I didn't need that potion. First one down. Other 2 are panicking. This one's also wounded, so I believe we can... Yes, critical backstab. Fantastic. That's number 2. I think Farron's got it from here. We really don't need to get too fancy with this. We'll just have Cat hang back. Target's arm maimed. And top off real quick. Gotta remember to do that while the fight's still running. Sadly, Cat can't do that. It's not an option for her. She can only recover vitality via potions or spells, or by resting. And target is out. Ambush defeated. Man, that went way smoother than I expected. Hopefully that trend continues. I'm sure we've got plenty more where they came from. Chest. Nice. Oh, hello there, sir or madam. I didn't even notice you there. Well, you don't seem overtly hostile, so... Who goes there? A haggard man, dressed in the livery of the Nautical Guild, huddles apprehensively in the corner of the small chamber you're standing in. His lips are dry and cracked as he appears to be parched. Dead Emperors, please tell me you found a way out of this pit. I have indeed, but what are you doing down here? They took the bodies of the drowned, men and women I've known for years, all blue and swollen, dragged them into this cave. Crabs as big as horses. How can such a thing be? What's wrong with this place? In any case, I was too weak to fight back when I landed, and they must have thought I was dead. Dragged me into the darkness. But when I heard those sounds, claws rending dead flesh, something awoke in me. I kicked and screamed as best I could, and they let me go. I ran as fast as I could, but I took a turn in the darkness and ended up here. I could hear them moving about in the caves around me, and I didn't dare try to make it out. If you hadn't come here, I'd have died from thirst. Well, I'm happy to help. Just follow this wall on your left, and you'll find your way back out to the beach. Just watch out for Basilo. Thank you so much. I'll live to see another day. By the Golden Dead, I'll be mending my wicked ways if I make it out of here. No more dice and womanizing. The desperate man wastes no time in scrambling past you and towards fresh air and relative safety. That was Ari. Cat seems flustered. Poor bastard. Sounds like he's losing his mind the way he was talking. Trapped down here for days? He's an arse, but he didn't deserve that. None of them did. Yeah, well, that's just how it goes sometimes. Let's see what we've got here. Cat. Nice. Ooh, very nice. A modest assortment of curative concoctions. A welcome sight indeed. So we do now have a way to top Cat back off, should we need it. Though of course we have a precious small supply at the moment, so best not to use it unless we really have to. Oh, right, yes, of course I thought the water put out our lantern, but it's actually because we're in stealth. Yeah, I guess that tracks. And good thing, too. Yet more crabs. Let's creep in closer. Oh, snap, that's not a crab at all. That's, some sort of worm. Alright, well, doesn't really change our plans. Farron up front, Cat touching back. Let's do this. Oh, shoot. Okay, well. Yeah, I could have chosen a better starting spot for Cat. For some reason, I was thinking she was going first, but apparently not. So we'll just start bringing her around. Oh, they're giant leeches. Yeah, those suck. Ow. Minor damage, but we are bleeding. Shoot, come on. Alright guys, I'm going to need you to actually start landing some hits here. Wow, yeah, that... Thank you, Farron, that will do nicely. Though I do see Cat has now been locked down, so that's not great. Just hang tight. Farron will be right there. Okay, no, we can't afford to trade blows like that. Just, go full defensive. Number 2's almost out. And down it goes. Just hang tight. Oh, we have disarmed the beast. Top off. Sweep the knees. Or the head. You know, whatever works. Obviously, that could have gone a bit smoother. The sloppy positioning did cost us a potion, but you know, it can always be worse, so I can't really complain. Alright, so where are we? Let me just get my bearings here. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we're just, yes. We're just off the main chamber, so we need to go this way. A strangely haunting piping can be heard from the caves ahead. Surely it must be the wind. Then again, it rises and falls with an eerie sense of musicality that does nothing to set your mind at ease. Forge ahead. And another larger chamber, so... Oh! We've got bats. Noted. 5 enemies total, 3 active. Cat up first, followed by Farron in 4th. So obviously Farron up front, but let's make sure we leave a line of fire for Cat. Actually, let's hang back a little farther. Hopefully take some out before the other 2 join the fray. Ugh, whiff. But they do seem exceptionally frail. Nice opener. Head wound on 1, the other 2 are now active. Cat swoops in, finishes off the one Farron tagged. Farron wings another. Cat is now base to base. Let's pull her back, force it to engage with Farron. Farron drops another, and panic. That one's too far out. This one? Ooh, nice leg shot. Farron takes a knee. Cat drops number 3. Number 5 engaged. Oh, solid. Dead on arrival. That's the last of them. Lock, stock, and barrel. Even had time to top Farron off. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but we're doing okay. You had nearly grown accustomed to the foul stench that lingers in these caves, but now it once more assaults your senses with renewed vigor, rolling out of the eastern passage like so many black tendrils, probing for a way into the very core of your being. Whatever lies ahead must be at the center of the rot that permeates this pit. Oof, thank goodness we just bumped our toughness. Let's see if we can actually keep it down this time. 6 or higher, slightly better than a coin toss. Come on, Farron, you got this. We bring glory to thine ancestors. Through grit alone, you refuse to let the foulness find purchase, and you fight down the nausea that wells up inside you. You're darn right. Though if that is our main chamber, let's check off left first. Oh ho! Oh, nice. Another potion of stone skin plus a potion of heroism. What does that one do? Let me see here. Plus damage, noted. We're actually building up a halfway decent stash here. Now the trick is just getting over my own hoarding instincts. Alternate exit. Based on what we're seeing here, I'm going to guess that comes out on a higher cliff face. Alright, let's get foul. How are we doing on arrows? Oh, that's not too bad. Relatively speaking. I mean, obviously we'll need more for the long haul, but that should get us through another fight or two. A Masterwork Male Coif of Awareness. Oh, the RNG's been kind. That is almost perfect for Farron. It's actually kind of funny because as our dedicated tank, we want Farron in medium or heavy armor in every slot possible. But the problem with that is that the encumbrance value for headgear reduces awareness, which is one of his 2 primary skills. But with this coif, the enchantment actually directly offsets the encumbrance penalty. All the benefits of a proper helmet, but without the associated cost. Aside, of course, from tying up our head slot. And now the corpse. The corpses of the doomed crew of the Zephyr are arranged around the chamber's central column. A pale light shines down from an aperture in the vaulted cave ceiling above, illuminating their bloated features and pale blue skin. Is there a form of artistry to their arrangement? For a brief moment, you almost find it beautiful? The thought comes into your mind unbidden. An interloper. Stepping between the corpses, you spot a man who you immediately recognize as the Zephyr's first mate. Around his neck, a sturdy chain glimmers, and you carefully fish out a strange octagonal amulet, richly filigreed and with the navigational rosette of the Nautical Guild carved onto it. This is no doubt the captain's seal, and is apparently an item that the guild will pay handsomely to have returned to them. As you pocket the amulet, you become aware of movement in the waters around you. Strange, stalked eyes regard you as several of the chitinous horrors emerge. No doubt the abominations have come to feed on the flesh of the dead. Or the living. Well, as tempting as it is to immediately go toe-to-toe, we do have a level in the queue for Cat. So perhaps it's best to fall back and get that tended to first. Then we can hopefully re-engage on our own terms. Come on, cat, do your thing. Nice. You carefully step away from the corpse and begin to try and make your way out of the horrid chamber. Lovely. Okay, yeah, let's just hang tight here for a sec whilst I go over our options, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And after going over our options, in light of our recent combat performance, you know, normally I'd go for skill ups as quickly as possible, get those numbers stacked. I think we need to go ahead and shore up Cat's combat skills. And it has been pointed out to me that apparently the shortbow does classify as a light weapon, so it does, in fact, benefit from these particular feats. In this particular case, plus 3% on crit and plus 1 to accuracy, both for the bow and for her dagger. So for now, the important thing is just to make sure she's always using light weapons. Though later down the line, there are some feats that are piercing specific, which applies to both her dagger and bow at the moment, but we do have some wiggle room, at least until we take that particular talent. Really, we just want to get her off the crude weapons as quickly as possible. Okay, just wanted to double check down here real quick. Make sure I wasn't missing a side path or anything. Let's clear that central chamber. Oh, there we go. Looks like another crab battle. Let's be extra careful with our positioning this time. Baron up front. Cat in back, but with a clear line of fire. Yeah, that should be fine. Whiff. Oof, Baron was on the losing end of that exchange. Go for backstab. Nice. Number 1, out. Number 2, declawed. Top off. Nice, nice. Oof, Cat is not having much luck with that shell. Number 2, out. Ooh. And critical headshot. Fantastic. Man, the dice are really rolling hot for us today. Except for when it comes to arrow recovery. Which, you know, I can live with. Okay, so can't do anything else with the first mate. Not seeing any other interactives here. Aha! There we go. There's our bonus prize. Cat. Nice. Hat of Stealth. Okay. The RNG continues to be kind. I mean, would have been nice if it were a piece of proper armor, but it is certainly something we can use. We do really need some proper armor for Cat, though. She's very much a glass cannon right now. Not sure how to get that. It's in the space behind the chest, and as far as I'm aware, There's no way to move or destroy the chest, so that feels like... yeah, that feels like it's just a misplaced item. That's fine, though. We can't even do anything with all these ingredients just yet. Not until we recruit a proper craftsman. Where does this take us? Stepping into the fresh air, you pull the strange octagonal guild seal from your pocket and examine it more closely. The dark metallic surface is covered in intricately carved lines and symbols. It reminds you of a mix between a compass and an astrolabe. Oof, and getting hit with a double whammy of intellectual skills. Not our strong suit. But, you know, we'll give it a shot. We do have one in intellect, so that would be a net 9 or higher. About a 1 in 4 chance. Let's just hope there's no penalty for failure. And look at that. Against all odds, you have indeed heard about this type of device before. As you understand it, it allows the officers of a nautical guild ship to operate the vessel's complicated navigational instruments. But more than that, it also serves as a device that records the captain's log. No doubt the information stored inside this device is its true value to the nautical guild. The Zephyr was sunk by some unknown horror, and the guild would pay dearly to learn more about such a dire threat to its operations. You feel the weight of the strange device in your hands. For a moment, you're back on the deck of the Zephyr. Monstrous tentacles rise above the ship like strange, alien towers. Terrified screams fill the air. You shudder. Cat's voice snaps you out of it. If we ever get off this bloody island and back to the mainland, the guild will pay well to have that returned. All I ask is you remember who told you about it. Yeah, don't worry, we're in this together. I'm happy to share the reward. You can keep the coin. All I want is to be done with the guild. Be free to wander as I like. Maybe wander up to my brother and stick a knife in his fat gut. Oh, I see. I take it you two don't see eye to eye? Aye, 'twas my older brother who sold me off to the guild. I was bloody 12. 20 years is what I owe them on account of that bastard. I've already wasted 10. Her voice breaks for a moment, before steel creeps back into her otherwise soft features. Like I said, gutting the bastard will go a long way towards setting things right. Of course, and the amulet will help with that? Sure. I'm free enough for now, but the guild doesn't like to let their assets go, and they have a way of catching up with those who jump ship. Even someone as lowly as me. Dangling a recovered captain's seal in front of them is exactly the kind of thing that might sway them. Well, hey, I will certainly put in a good word. I'm liking you more and more. Let's start by getting off this bloody island alive. Indeed. On that, we agree. The small farm is overgrown and derelict, and it appears to be abandoned. At one point, you muse, this must have been a quaint place. A good spot to raise a family, perhaps? Suddenly, as if summoned by your very thoughts, the faint but unmistakable sound of children's laughter is carried on the wind. The sound is oddly distorted with a strange, echoing quality, and for some reason it chills you to your bones. The sound is interrupted by a woman's cry of pain. Or perhaps sorrow. Uh-oh, sounds like it might be time to settle things up with Basilo. Let's have a look around. Oh, yeah, see, that's the building we glimpsed earlier, just north of where we met Basilo. Good, so now we have a reference point for exactly where we are. We have an obvious path down there as well. Oh. Well, well, well. A woman sits in the grass ahead of you with a well looming over her. She is emaciated, ragged, and covered in grime. How long has she been sitting here? Days? Weeks? She rocks back and forth, almost catatonic. Then, suddenly, you hear it again. The clear sound of playful children's laughter rises from the well. The woman wails. That's probably fine. My children! The woman rocks slowly back and forth as she stares blankly at the well in front of her. Ma'am, what's going on? It took them. Called out to them. I heard it. Funny thing is, I heard it calling with my voice. Oleg and Anja live in the well now. They're calling for me to join them. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, but how can I help? It will never stop. It will multiply until it covers all the lands and all the seas. And when we are all dead and bones, the Conqueror mold will dress our corpses in black mourning veils. Her voice is flat and monotone, and the strange words almost seem to come from somewhere else. She then lets out a deep sigh. But if I had my children's bones to bury, it would give me some respite. A moment of silence, then the sickening sound of children's laughter once again rises from the well. Yeah, that's a problem. The skeletal figure of Marita sits in front of the well, rocking silently back and forth. I mean, obviously we're going to help her as best we can. But we'll hold off on it until we're a bit more secure in our equipment loadout. At the very least, we should deal with Basilo first. Based on general context, it seems likely he just took this place for himself, since obviously this poor woman's in no condition to tend to it herself. He's probably right in here. Yeah, that feels like a good thing to wrap up on. Let's go tie a loose end. Ah, right. And there's our general resting and I assume trading interface tutorial. As well as a brief peek at companions we have yet to meet. And one we have. Hey Roland, what's up, bud? He's Roland in the deep now, though I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we encounter him again. One way or another. I actually think this might be all 5 of our remaining companions. I think there's a total of 6 story companions. Though I do note that obviously Cat's not visible here. We've got Roland there, we've got... I recognize 2 of these others. Bottom left might be our missing mage. I've never played that far, so I'm not sure. A glimpse of things to come, perhaps, but I suppose we should stay focused on the here and now. Speaking of which... Basilo. Hail and well met, my friend. I would have words. Oh. The chest ahead of you is wet and covered in seaweed. It also looks familiar. Instantly, you realize this is your luggage from the Zephyr. It had been stowed too well to get to during the mutiny, but by some miracle, it made it to shore, where it must have been salvaged. Better yet, the combination lock remains sound, meaning the content of the chest is likely still unmolested. You best not be getting any ideas with my property, little fishy. Basilo growls as he eyes you suspiciously. Easy, friend. let's not rush to the end prematurely. I'll have you know this is actually my property, but I do appreciate you looking after it for me. What old Mother Maelstrom saw fit to bequeath upon me. Eyes keeps. Basilow's eyes narrow as he fiddles the strap of his club. Then again, that's not to say I mightn't be willing to make a deal with you. Oh? Do tell. See, there's this man, a stargazer he is. Came here a few days ago, perched himself on that cliff right over there. Basilow points to the cliff that rises over the beach to the east. Thing is, he was carrying something I can hardly put into words. It's like a tube with glass in it that you use to look at the stars and such. A telescope? Aye, that's what he called it. Old Basilow would love to have it if you can get your way up there to where he made camp. There's meaning in the stars, you see, old wisdom and such. And don't fret, Basilow saw big old fat crows circling near the camp. I'll bet Basilow's eye that the stargazer's dead and rotting, and his telescope's just waiting to be salvaged. Well, Basilow, you have certainly painted an intriguing picture, and I do intend to investigate yonder camp. But, I do have some business to tend to first, and it would be easier for me to resolve if I had access to my things. The sooner I get those, the sooner I can check out that camp. Nice. Basilow looks surprised and stutters incoherently. What? What you mean? Just 'cause Mother Maelstrom made you live? Now you're somehow entitled to Basilow's treasures? The man's eyes tear up. There's truth in that. Basilow knows it in his bones. Pox on you. There's truth in it. Fine. Have your bleeding box. Basilow goes off to sulk in the corner. He took that well. Let's see what we got. Oh, fantastic. A proper war axe, our first shield, clean clothes, and 100 gold. Nice, okay. We'll take it, and immediately put it to good use. We'll slap on the shield, of course. That bumps our dodge up to a more respectable level. And we will equip the war axe. In fact, I think we'll toss the hand axe over to Kat. It's not a piercing weapon, but it is light, so she will benefit from her current mix of feats without the drawbacks of her crude dagger. But of course, we'll also want to keep an eye out for a proper dagger or short blade for her long term. We've still got time. We're at least 2 or 3 levels out before we take that piercing damage feat. Clothes are purely cosmetic, but I do like the cloak. And Kat. Yeah, she's definitely a bit more sparsely equipped at this point. No proper short bow just yet, no arrows. We'll have to hope we can maybe trade for some from Basilow. Or, just take them off his corpse, hopefully, question mark. We'll find out momentarily. And yeah, we definitely want to dump that -1 accuracy modifier. And now, thusly equipped. Basilow? There's the one who cheated Mother Maelstrom. And loaded with trinkets for old Basilow, perhaps? There might be some fine coin in it for you. The old man shakes a worn leather pouch at you that clinks with the sound of coins. Stay as long as you like, just don't drink the water in the well. The fireplace casts a warm glow across the piles of old fish bones, broken furniture, and strange trinkets that litter the ruined home. Basilow hums contentedly to himself. Basilo, just out of curiosity, where did you come across so much coin, anyway? Are there other traders in the area, perhaps? You know, just in case I ever need to find someone else to trade with. The old man reaches into the leather pouch and pulls out a handful of strange coins that look nothing like standard Imperial coinage. Though they are no doubt valuable, they're covered in greenish grime that makes them almost look more like seashells than coins. Bounty from the deep, handed down from me da, who got it from me granda. He used to say Granda was so strong in the old faith that Mother Maelstrom would let him go down into the deep and visit with them who lived there. Came back with sacks of this, he did. I see. Nothing fishy there. Well, Basilo, I would love to see what you have to offer. Just on the off chance I can't pick it up off your corpse after. Ooh, hunting arrows. Those would be nice. Backup shield for a cat would be nice, too. Spare rope, lockpicks. Minor potions, nice, but also a bit on the pricey side. Okay, so I've never actually killed a vendor before. Let's go ahead and tap that quick save button real quick, just in case we can't pick this stuff up off his corpse. And, sorry to bother, my friend, I do have one last bit of business. You've been living on borrowed time, my friend, and Mother Maelstrom has decided it's finally come to an end. The man looks at you, eyes wide in genuine surprise and shock. Then a mask of pure rage falls across his face. You shouldn't be all healthy and like. Mother Maelstrom offered you up for me. Basilo will make you stop squirming, little fish. Yeah, well, good luck with that. I'm not a half-drowned straggler who just washed up ashore. You might find me a slightly tougher opponent than your usual fare. That said, we have no real idea how tough this guy is, so let's not take any chances. We'll try to lure him out of that corner, then double team. Hang back a sec, Farron. Basilo engages. Takes a nasty hit for his troubles. Another glancing arrow. And target disarmed. Sorry, bud. Karma's a beach. Yep, and that is exactly what I was afraid of. It does appear that vendors apparently do not drop their goods upon death in this game. We were hoping to pick over his corpse, but instead his wares have been consigned to peddler purgatory. I would complain, but, you know, it's far from the first CRPG that's taken that kind of countermeasure to discourage particularly bloodthirsty and opportunistic players. Though I'll also say, in most cases, I think this is one of the very rare instances where I feel like a merchant was actually deserving of death. That said, this is also obviously an eventuality we did somewhat anticipate, hence the quick save. So, you know, it makes this a good place to call it. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will roll the clock back ever so slightly, just so we can do some proper trading before our fishy friend here meets his final fate. And we will pick up here next time, more or less where we left off, but slightly heavier on some vital supplies. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie B23, Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.